What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy Chaos here, coach of the Detroit Red Wings, and we are bringing you the team builder for week number 4 versus the Hawaii Haunters and coach, gentlemen Haunters. So if you guys are excited for the team, let's get into it. Let's get looking at things, and let's get looking at what we got for the team. We got a really interesting build this week. You're going to see that, so... actually, it's the first time I get to bring Rillaboom. My first overall draft pick has not been doing anything for us the whole season. It's time to start changing that, and so Rillaboom's going to be coming this week. Here, of course, above me is going to be the stats and stuff, items and everything, so I'm not going to really worry about that from this point forward and showing them off on the game. But we will have all that stuff up there. You can see the ability and things. So this is a Grassy Surge Rillaboom with Assault Vest, making it super tanky. His Grassy Glide, Drain Punch, Knock Off, and Fake Out. So Fake Out's going to be a nice utility move. It works wonders in doubles as a way to shut down an opponent. It also gives Rillaboom a chance to be a revenge killer, stop something that maybe is setting up that we have to just sack. We have to deal a lot of damage with another Pokemon, and it can come back in, take him out. We also have Grassy Glide, which is another priority move. In grassy terrain, I don't really think he has a way to shut down my terrain. So that's going to be something that is going to work for us. His team, just so we can go over it real quick, is G-Max Alcremie, Dracovish, Excadrill, Clefable, Arcanine, Braviary, Hitmonchan, Umbreon, Roserade, Lopunny, Meowstic, and Jolteon. So really the only way to change that terrain is if Alcremie uses Overgrowth, which is going to make it grassy terrain anyway. So you really don't have a way to shut down my terrain options here, which is something that I've kind of built on this week a little bit with this set. It's allowed me to build this Rillaboom the way it is. This is a 0 speed Rillaboom. You'll see why I'm running no speed later on. But we don't need the speed if we have Grassy Glide to outspeed things. Rillaboom's a pretty good tank overall. That's why it's Assault Vest. It's more defensive, but it does have the priority moves, which is very nice. Drain Punch gets me the HP back, and of course I can use Knock Off to get rid of items. It's just a nice utility. This is going to beat Dracovish in grassy terrain. It's a 2-shot, and we're not taking much from Dracovish. We stuff the Fishious Rend. You can deal with Alcremie, although Mystical Fire and or Max Flare is going to be annoying. It beats Excadrill. It can beat Hitmontop. It's not a good matchup versus Umbreon, but it's not the worst matchup in the world. It can beat the Lopunny as a revenge killer. It can beat Meowstic, and it beats Jolteon. So pretty good coverage across the board here. You saw why Rillaboom's coming this week. I'm very excited to bring this thing and see what we got. Next up is Durant. Kevin's coming back again this week. I thought it was a good bring to help us out. So my whole strategy was to use Rillaboom and Durant as a lead counter for his team. I definitely see like Dracovish, Alcremie, Meowstic, Alcremie, Braviary, and Meowstic, those kind of things to be leads. So I'm pretty sure that between Rillaboom and Durant, we cover pretty much everything that could be a lead option. If the Alcremie comes in right off the bat, Iron Head is a great way to damage it and just deal with it. Of course, Iron Head and Stomping Tantrum are there for stab. Rock Slide is a nice coverage move. Also gives me rocks to help deal with that Braviary if I want to take it, which is a weird matchup, but we outspeed and we should be able to one-shot it, hopefully. And then I have X-Scissor for, well, I guess Stomping Tantrum's not. Stomping Tantrum's just nice, because if I fail a move, which I have a chance of failing Rock Slide pretty often, that's going to double the power. So Stomping Tantrum's going to do a lot of damage. Really good on Durant sets. And then X-Scissor, of course, is the other stab. Said it backwards. Mobby. But Durant's whole... This is a direct counter to Alcremie. It's a hard counter. Alcremie really doesn't do anything. I just have to land an Iron Head, honestly, and it dies. Alcremie's not faster than me. So that's how that works. And you might be wondering, like, you know, I'm slow Rillaboom, but I'm fast Durant. Because I'm max speed. The point of that is his team is kind of middle speed tier the entire way across the board. His fastest thing is a Jolteon at 130, and I'm not really worried about that. The thing that I'm kind of concerned about is he does have a Meowstic, and it could do Trick Room. So having my own slow Mons is a good way to deal with that too. But generally, like, Durant outspeeds everything. It's got 109 speed stat, which outspeeds the entire team but Jolteon. So he'd have to run the Choice Scarf if he wants to outspeed the Durant, which makes it a great offensive, a great wall breaker in the front here as a good option. It also can deal with the Excadrill. It deals with Clefable. It can take on Arcanine, but it's a weird matchup. It can take it. A switch in would be really good for that, like hitting it off the switch. The other thing about Arcanine is that it could have Intimidate, which would lower my attack stat, which is not fun for my team. So I really got to worry about the Arcanine Braviary. I've seen that lead before from him, so it could be an interesting thing. It's a weird matchup versus Braviary, as I said. Catching it on the switch is nice. It can deal with his Hitmonchan. It's a little weird too. Beats Umbreon. It beats Roserade. It can deal with Lopunny. It doesn't really want to, but it can. And it's a good counter to Meowstic and Jolteon since they're both pretty glass cannony. As I said, the ability of these two is to be a lead counter to shut down the leads. I'm probably going to have to switch out immediately, but it's fine. It works out for us. Durant's really good off the gate, and that's going to be what it's used for here. Also, this Durant runs a Revenge Killer set. Is kind of a Revenge Killer. It's fast. As long as we're not in something like Trick Room that slows me down, we should be able just to body something and at least kill one thing and get a nice trade. Next up on the team is Primarina. I'm bringing it again. This is a weird set because I haven't run this set this year. I've run something similar, but we're running a Life Dew. We are running Life Dew for recovery and healing. We're running Hyper Voice, Liquid Voice. So we're having a Water move and Liquid Voice as our offensive power. Moonblast, obviously, there for the other stat. Calm Mind to set up if I feel like the Alcremie likes to set up in people's face. Haunter likes to use a lot of setup, and I've noticed that. So being able to go toe-to-toe with setups is something that we're gonna want to deal with Alcremie. We also have Life Dew for recovery here, so if we have to use Hyper Defense this week, then we have a way to heal, and it also has leftovers, so it does get residual recovery over the course of the battle. It's a weird counter to Alcremie. It's kind of a stall fest. It can beat Dracovish. It's just not the best matchup in the world. It beats Excadrill. It can stop Clefable it can also set up on Clefable, which is nice. It beats Arcanine. It beats Braviary, Hitmonchan, Umbreon. It can beat Roserade if it's used a Leaf Storm and it's -2. But we have to scout for Leaf Storm. It beats Lapras, not Lopunny. Sorry, I can't read my own writing. It can beat Lopunny, it beats Meowstic, and it can beat Jolteon if it's set up at +1 and Jolteon comes in at 50. So it's a very weird setup here to get this thing to go. But Primarina is pretty nice. It's a nice support mon in the back, and also is going to be a good cleric for my team. So if I want to just sit here and heal, I can sit here and heal and deal damage with my other team members. Next up, we did do a trade. We traded away Passimian. I really wasn't finding a way to use it. I love its abilities. I think it would be cool in doubles. I just think it's a better singles mon. Sadly, it has such a really cool ability for doubles, but that's what it is. But I did trade it away for Toxicroak. I needed something that was going to be more diverse and have a little bit more power. So Toxicroak fit the bill. That's going to be the switch. It also gives me another offensive poison type, which is pretty cool. And it's going to be interesting. But he is running Drain Punch, Gunk Shot, Sucker Punch, and Coaching. Drain Punch, obvious recovery. Gunk Shot for offensive damage. Sucker Punch for priority, even if we are in something like Trick Room. And then Coaching is a nice defensive way for Toxicroak to help out other team members before maybe it goes down or something like that. So Coaching would be a nice way to help set up an ally on the field. With the set, it can beat Alcremie, it beats Dracovish as long as it's not scarfed and 50%. It can beat Excadrill at -1. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it can beat Excadrill, maybe. It's a great counter for Clefable. It's a direct counter. If I land a Gunk Shot, it's over. It beats Braviary as long as it's not scarfed and under 60%. Hitmonchan goes down. It's a direct counter and the best option for me to deal with Umbreon, Roserade, and Lopunny. It is literally just, that's what it's there for. Toxicroak is a great cleaner in the lower tiered mons, the ones that you usually don't expect to see as much. It can beat Meowstic at 50%. Sucker Punch is obviously pretty great, but we just gotta watch out for Prankster and stuff like that. And then it can take on Jolteon. It's not the best matchup, but it can take on Jolteon if need be. And of course, if you saw Primarina, we're minus attack and minus speed. We're 0 speed and 0 attack to play slower and to not get hit by foul play as much. And Toxicroak is 31, so that's just what it is. Next up is Lunatone coming in again. And you can see that this is why I'm starting to build things pretty slow. Lunatone, it has Trick Room. I'm going to be trying to use Trick Room this week if I need to. I think the plan is to use Hyper Offense at the beginning with Rillaboom and Durant. And if that fails a little bit, everybody in the back kind of deals in Trick Room pretty well. It's a really good setup for Rillaboom, Dragalge, and Primarina. So if I can get this in, it'll be pretty nice there. It's a good supportive mon this week with Helping Hand. Gonna do more damage to opponents. And then of course I have the very fun set of Future Sight, Nasty Plot. So basically I can shoot off a Future Sight and then just Nasty Plot away and do that. It is built pretty defensively. It's maxed out in defense, maxed out in HP. So it should be able to take some hits. A lot of his team is physical attackers. So that's kind of what it's there for. And of course it is 0 IVs in attack and speed. So foul play is not going to do as much. And of course Trick Room, since we kind of mesh in the middle of speed tiers with his team, having 0 speed IVs is really good for us to be slower and outspeed things in Trick Room. So that's kind of the point with that. Of course, if he does the same thing, it's a different strategy, and I think a lot of my team's faster. So it's just going to come down to looking at speed tiers at that point. So that's something I'm just going to manage throughout the battle. Of course, Lunatone is going to be a good switch in to Alcremie, Clefable, Arcanine in on Braviary, because Braviary does have close combat. It can jump in on Umbreon, Lopunny, and Meowstic as well. So Lunatone I built for switches, not really for offense, although I do have Future Sight for the fact that I could just do that. You know, I always could Future Sight Nasty Plot. I could always just Helping Hand my opponent. So Lunatone is very much more of a supportive mon this week. This is also a good set because it gives the idea that Ally Switch could be here, and I could just be switching around my team. So I'm not running Ally Switch this week, but it does have that option to put that in my opponent's head so he thinks about that when he's trying to make his picks. Of course, Lunatone's basic role is support and Trick Room this week. So that's what it's going to be doing. And last but not least is Dragalge coming back. I'm bringing the double poison. As I said, he has a lot of good fairy types that are pretty tanky. So I wanted as much offense as possible. Sadly, I was going to use Draco Meteor instead of Venoshock on the moveset. However, it is a move from Sun and Moon only. And I did not have the time to go back and get a Dragalge, teach it that, and then trade it through. So we didn't do that this week. So Venoshock's going to be the thing. I could always get Poison on Sludge Bomb and then Venoshock's power. That's kind of the here. Also, I could Gunk Shot Poison too, so Kelp's got some options here. Dragon Pulse and Sludge Bomb, obvious stab. Thunderbolt's a nice coverage move to help deal with some other things that are going to be coming into the battle, and that's kind of what it's there for. I also am running Assault Vest, so it's super tanky. It's had 123 base special defense stat. I've not invested in it at all. At level 100, it's 282, which means that I think Assault Vest is 1.5 boosted, right? Yeah, it's 1.5 to special defense stat, which basically means I'm going to have an extra 141 special defense on that, which at level 100 would put us at 323, I think. No, 423. So that's pretty tanky boy. Plus maxed out attack, especially maxed out HP at 334 on level 100. Yeah, I know that's going to be cut down because of level 50, but he's very tanky. He has a lot of good options. And special attack's is not something to laugh at either. I've maxed out his special attack, maxed out his HP, so he's pseudo bulky. He's kind of offensive too, and adaptability is definitely going to be a great thing for us because the ability boost stab to ×2 instead of ×1.5. So basically, we're going to be doing double damage on any move we do any move that we would hit. With any Pokemon we'd hit with Dragon Pulse and Sludge Bomb, which means Dracovish gets bodied, which is fun. It also helps out with Alcremie. And of course, Dracovish is better to deal with in Trick Room just because it's a fast mon, usually, and that would be helpful for us. It can beat Clefable, it beats Arcanine. Braviary in Trick Room is a fun thing. Thunderbolt doesn't actually one-shot, but it does a lot of damage and could also just be a nice tech move for there. It's kind of why Thunderbolt is run this week. It can kind of deal with Hitmonchan. It's not the best thing. It's a good defensive counter to it, but it doesn't really have any offense to deal with the Hitmonchan back. Same with Umbreon. It's a nice defensive counter. It just doesn't offer anything back. Of course, Umbreon likes to Toxic Stall, so being a poison type, we don't get Toxic, so that's a way to deal with it. It's another good counter to Roserade. Roserade is something that I'm kind of worried about this week because I have a lot of water types and a lot of weaknesses to grass. So I'm just covering that a little bit, covering my bases with some poison types here. It can beat Lopunny in Trick Room. It beats Meowstic's a weird matchup, but it probably beats Meowstic, and then it also just shuts down Jolteon, so it's great. And this is a weird team builder, and I will say it, and I've said that because I don't have my Gmax. A lot of teams focus on relying on their Gmax. I don't have mine this week. Aside of Colossal was a pretty good option for this battle. It just, there's a lot of things that are that I'm a little bit worried about. I was too worried about that Dracovish. I didn't see a way to get it set up. I didn't see a way for it to be used. Besides maybe a utility mon this week, and honestly, I think the team that we built is a better way to do that. I'm running more defensive this week than I like to usually do. It's going back to my roots. Back in Season 1, that's what I did all the time. So going back to my roots a little bit with this more of a defensive team, and hopefully that works out well for us as we get into this battle. So what do I think is coming? I definitely think the Alcremie and Dracovish are two mainstays on the team. They're going to be on the team. I think the Colossal actually kind of makes a weird matchup for Braviary. He's thinking about maybe do I come, maybe do I not. I think he's going to be built very offensive and very fast if he is prepping for the Colossal. So we have to watch out the Braviary when I do think it's going to come, but it's something that I have to look out for. Prankster Meowstic is definitely going to be something. One of his fun strats that I've seen him use is Prankster and then the ability switch with Alcremie. So then the Meowstic, and then Alcremie has priority with its status, its setup and status moves, so it can do that, and that's just something we see. If that happens, if that's the lead, against us, we kind of just. I've built Rillaboom so that I can fake out and shut it down, and then we can just take out the Meowstic. So if Meowstic Alcremie is the lead, we just shut down the Meowstic immediately and just get it off the field because I can fake out and then X Scissor through it. So it'll be a nice little play for us there. So I do think it's coming, maybe for that set, some utility in the back, Thunder Wave maybe. So I think it's gonna be a bring. I also think Roserade and Jolteon are going to be coming. Roserade, as I said, is a really good option for my team. Just, I noticed that everyone probably expects Primarina now, but having, a really powerful special attacking grass and poison type is kind of hard to deal with for a team that doesn't have a psychic type or a flying type really to do anything with. So I definitely think it's a good option for him, and I would be surprised if he didn't bring it, actually. And then same thing, I have a lot of weaknesses to Electric too, so bringing in that Jolteon is a good option in the back. Also gives him some speed instead of building a very slow team. What are his potentials? So I could see like Jolteon being switched out for something like Arcanine, or Meowstic being switched out for Clefable as another defensive option. Braviary maybe for Excadrill, but I'm pretty sure Alcremie and Dracovish are going to be the two main things that I'm worried about on the team that are going to be coming. I think Arcanine's nice to shut down my physical offense. Excadrill is just a good, powerful Pokemon. Though I think it's kind of hesitant and it's also kind of maybe would come because of Colossal. So that's kind of why I'm thinking of it. And then Clefable is just a nice way to shut me down, honestly. That's just a great way that he's going to try to shut me down. He knows I did switch to Toxicroak this week, so that's something he has knowledge about. So everybody, of course, it's just everybody knows when it happens. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of interested about this match. I hope I built right, because if I feel like he brings hyper defense or hyper offense, one of the two, every week. That's what he's been doing, and so I'm kind of banking on the more of a defensive and offensive team in different aspects. So I kind of split it a little bit with offense with offense with Rillaboom, Durant, and defense. Well, offense with Rillaboom, Durant, and Toxicroak, and then more of a slower and defensive team with Primarina, Rillaboom, Lunatone, and Dragalge. So, also the cool thing about Dragalge is like there's probably nothing in the world that's ever gonna be slower than it. It is 44 base speed. It is 0 speed and negative speed nature, and his lowest speed stat is the Alcremie at 64. No, it's Clefable at 60. Sorry, missed that. So I'm gonna be slower than it, unless it's like running Lagging Tail, which is probably not gonna happen. I mean, I've seen weirder things, but yeah, probably not. But that is going to be the team. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Come check out the team builder. The battle tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, where we will take on Gentleman Haunter and the Hawaii Haunters for a week 4 matchup. Thank you guys for supporting me and supporting the team and supporting this draft league. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to support us more, we have merch. So I'm wearing the shirt. You can get a shirt, you can get a mug, a lot of different things. If you wanted to do that, there should be a link in the description down below to my merch store, which has the logos and stuff. And I'm going to be trying to use this for future seasons of PDL and things like that as prize money and other things too. So if you want to help us out, that's a great way to do it. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And I will see you tomorrow in the battle. So until then, stay safe, and as always,